It is a terrifying reality that every modern parent fears. You look out the front window, your children are playing safely in the front yard. You think the doors are locked, the windows are closed, and your family is safe from the dangers of the outside world. But the truth is, the world's most dangerous predators don't break through your windows anymore. They walk right through your Wi-Fi router, sitting directly in the palms of your children's hands. On Saturday, January 31st, 2026, a quiet home in Indiantown, Martin County, Florida, became the ground zero for a multi-state law enforcement emergency. Two sisters, just 12 and 15 years old, vanished. Earlier that morning, around 9 a.m., the sisters had gone down to a local park. Nothing seemed immediately out of the ordinary, but when they returned home later, their parents realized something was deeply wrong. As a punishment for behavioral issues and suspicious secrecy, their parents did what any modern parent would do. They confiscated the girls' cell phones, but it was already too late. The trap had been sprung. Later that evening, the girls went for what their family thought was a brief walk around 4:45 p.m. They never came back. By 8:00 p.m., with freezing winter temperatures settling over Indiantown, panic gripped the household. The family dialed 911. When deputies from the Martin County Sheriff's Office arrived, the frantic parents handed over the confiscated phones, revealing a terrifying suspicion. They believed the girls might be with someone they had been secretly messaging online. When detectives booted up the devices, they found the core apps blank. The primary messaging application the girls used had been completely deleted from the device to cover their tracks. But investigators didn't stop there. Tech detectives re-downloaded the deleted apps and bypassed the security. What they found inside sent an icy chill down their spines. It wasn't just a local runaway case. Hidden in the chat logs were active messages showing that a man was currently driving straight toward their town to take the girls away. A massive invisible clock was ticking, and law enforcement was already hours behind. To understand how two young girls vanish into thin air on a cold January night, we have to trace the digital breadcrumbs back over half a year. The investigation revealed that this nightmare didn't start on a dark alleyway or a sketchy website. It began in the summer of 2025 on Roblox, a global platform that boasts over 380 million active monthly users. Marketed heavily as a safe, creative playground for kids, the predator was a 19-year-old man named Ser Mula Se. Residing thousands of miles away in Omaha, Nebraska, Ser Mula Se didn't rush. He used the exact calculated pattern that child safety experts warn about. He met the older sister inside a Roblox game room, posing as a friendly peer under the digital alias Jin. Over months of casual gaming, he built an intense emotional bond, slowly isolating the sisters from parental oversight. Once he established absolute trust, he executed Phase 3, moving them off-platform. He convinced the girls to shift their conversations to Snapchat, a platform where messages disappear automatically, creating a dark zone completely hidden from their parents' eyes. Martin County Sheriff John Budensiek later noted that the grooming was so deeply embedded that strange things began happening at the family's home months prior. Gifts, specifically food deliveries, randomly began showing up at the house, ordered remotely by a stranger across the country. The digital log showed that the tone of the conversations grew increasingly romantic. While investigators noted there was no explicitly explicit media uncovered in the initial triage, the suspect frequently warned the underage girls that he could get into a massive amount of trouble for what he was about to do. He knew exactly what he was doing was a severe violation of federal law on Friday morning. January 30th, Ser Mula Se walked out of his home in Omaha, hopped into his sedan, and drove straight through the night. He crossed through Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Georgia, driving non-stop for over 24 hours straight. By 10 a.m. on Saturday, he arrived in Indiantown, Florida, a 1,500-mile journey to claim two children he had groomed through a video game. When the sisters left their house at 4:45 p.m. under the guise of a walk, they walked straight to Ser Mula Se's waiting car. By the time police re-established the Snapchat logs hours later, the suspect was already gunning it north up Interstate 75. Desperate to smuggle the girls back to Omaha-Martin County, detectives immediately weaponized the digital data they recovered. They pulled a recent photograph of the suspect, identified his vehicle's make and model, and threw a dragnet across the southeastern United States. They pinged cell towers and mobilized the Florida Highway Patrol and the Georgia State Patrol. The entire operation was a lethal game of chess. Sheriff Budensiek made a tactical decision to hold back a public Amber Alert. Why? Because if the alert hit the suspect's phone or blasted across highway signs, he would know law enforcement was onto his specific car. He might dump the girls, swap vehicles, or panic, turning a kidnapping into a high-speed tragedy. In the early morning hours of Sunday, February 1st, deep in Lowndes County, Georgia, hundreds of miles away from their home, a Georgia state trooper spotted the suspect's sedan speeding through the dark. Troopers swarmed. Blue lights cut through the night as police boxed the vehicle in, forcing it to a halt on the shoulder of the highway. When officers approached the windows, they found Sermu Lassé behind the wheel. In the passenger seats were the 12- and 15-year-old sisters. The rescue occurred literally 5 minutes before the Amber Alert was scheduled to lock down the state. Sermu Lassé was thrown into a Georgia jail cell, awaiting extradition back to Florida to face severe felony kidnapping charges. The girls were safely returned to their traumatized family. But while this Florida family got their miracle, the broader reality across the country remains incredibly grim. At the exact same time this rescue was unfolding, authorities in Indiana uncovered a tragic mirror case, the remains of 17-year-old Haley Busby, who went missing and was killed after being targeted by a 39-year-old predator on an online gaming app.